story?
Yeah!
This is a healthcare story. We all have one, right? Let me hear it if you have a healthcare story.
Yes!
I'm going to tell you mine, the story of me and my family. I'm here with my daughter, Zoe, and my son, Ethan.
Woo!
And I want to tell you our story. I grew up in New Jersey. I got a fellow Jersey girl here, at least one. Woo! I grew up in a family on the far right. Okay? I've come a long way, baby.
Yeah!
I too have a novel here so that I can keep myself, keep my thoughts centered. But it is so hard because there is so much. There is so much they are trying to take from us. There is so much that they are trying to put on our shoulders. And we are here together today to say no. To say that this is our country, that these women who stand next to us are our sisters and our mothers and our daughters, and we will fight for them.
Yes!
I was the daughter of a nurse and a math nerd whose birthday is today. Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday, Dado!
I grew up, I went to college. I became a nurse too, you know, following your mother's footsteps. I worked on land for 2 years in a hospital, and then I quit my job and I went overseas. I volunteered for nearly 6 years on board a charity hospital ship off the coast of West Africa. I was right where I was supposed to be. I met my husband there. We brought Zoe back when she was maybe 2 months old. Cutest little ship's baby you have ever seen. We were where we were supposed to be. We were providing healthcare for some of the most underserved populations in the entire world. My whole future, I could see it stretched out in front of me, exactly how I planned. But we know, life is never what you plan. The line that separates us from other people, us and them, me from tragedy, is razor thin on a good day. And it was the last day of winter, almost 11 years ago now, where I sat across a desk from a doctor after the ultrasound tech had spent such a long time scanning my son's heart over and over and over, and I recognized the look on her face. I'd been a nurse for almost a decade. I knew that face. I'd schooled my own features into that mask so many times before, and I knew before she said it, this is going to be hard to hear. They told me that the child that I could feel kicking and rolling inside my belly was likely incompatible with life. They told me that he had a rare disease called heterotaxy, that almost all of his internal organs had formed incorrectly in some way or another. They told me that the best thing I could do was to terminate the pregnancy. So did every other doctor in those next few days, and I understand why. Because I live in a country where your access to healthcare is not based on the depth of your need, it's based on how much money you can pay.
Yes.
And so in those first few days, I didn't get to sit there and think, what doctor should we use? What hospital should we go to? No, I was unemployed, living in my mother's basement with my husband who wasn't American. Okay, he couldn't work. I had less than no income. The only thing I could think of was, how am I going to afford this child? How am I going to afford the care he needs and still give him the life that he deserves? How will I be able to put food on my table and pay my bills after I pay for his health care? That's the reality of healthcare in this country.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Move.
And so I had to face that head on. And it was a different woman across a different desk a couple weeks later who did not have to school her face into any kind of a mask, who beamed at me, and she said, "It's gonna be okay," when I handed her my application for Medicaid.
Woo!
Okay? Our legislature in this country recently voted for a budget resolution that needs to cut $880 billion from programs like Medicaid.
Woo!
Agreed.
Woo!
I don't even know where I am right now. Good Lord, I'm mad about all of this.
Yeah, Mom!
Here's the thing, and here's why I'm talking about Medicaid on International Women's Day. Because I don't think that you understand how many women rely on Medicaid. I don't think you understand how important Medicaid is to the women in this country. More than 18 million women in America, nearly 1 in 5, rely primarily on Medicaid for health care. Okay?
Yeah, because we have to.
We are getting to the children. Don't you wait. Don't you worry. We're getting to the children. I've got one of them right there. All right? The only way that I was empowered to make the choice that I made, and I understand that it is different than the choice that the woman next to me might have made. Okay? But I was able to make the choice that I wanted to make because of the social safety net, because of the systems in place in our country to support families like mine.
Yes.
Okay? Medicaid paid for the rest of my pregnancy. Medicaid paid for the scans and the doctors and the meetings with the surgeons and the palliative care team and everyone that we needed in place to make sure that Ethan would be born as healthy as possible, given the Picasso anatomy that he had going on inside his chest. Medicaid paid for his birth. It paid for those first 6 days that one of the nurses called the holding days, where we just held him until we had to hand him over before he was a week old, and they carved the scar into his chest that he will carry for the rest of his life. Medicaid paid when we brought him home. It paid for the monitoring equipment and the doctor visits and the medications and all that he needed to keep him alive until we... Oh, no matter how many times I talk about this. Medicaid paid when we handed him over again before his first Thanksgiving, when they stopped his heart for the first time. Not the last time, and I don't know how many of you know what it feels like to know that your child's heart is not beating while yours is. But he's right there. And he's embarrassed because he's 10 years old. And the only reason that he is over there with his best friend right now is because Medicaid was there for the choices that we made. Okay?
Woo!
My husband eventually got his green card and then his citizenship. Listen, it's a whole thing. I cannot recommend meeting your husband in a ditch off the side of the road 3 hours into the Liberian bush. However, it has worked out for us. We don't rely on Medicaid anymore for health care. However, Medicaid's not just for that. Medicaid is a provider of jobs for women.
Woo!
I want to give you the right statistic here, because my father is a statistician and I don't dare say something wrong, okay? 15.5 million frontline healthcare workers in this country, okay? 77% of them are women. Hell yeah. Okay? It's Medicaid who pays my salary now. Once Ethan was a little bit more stable, he's had 5 open heart surgeries now. He's had a road, but he's more stable, and I was able to go back to work, right? We got plugged into the disability community. We know a bit more about just the deep need, right, for excellent healthcare workers. I now work as a home health nurse. Pediatrics, because, kids are better than grown-ups. Medicaid pays for me to go to school every day, with a third grader. My heart is only a little bit in my throat anymore these days when he does something super risky on the monkey bars, but I get to watch him and I get to keep him safe in a class with his peers where he belongs.
Yes.
And that's because of Medicaid. I have another patient, I don't go to school with her, I get to hang out with her once a week at her house. We do spa nights, and we paint her nails, and we read stories, and we throw open the curtains, and we watch the sunset, and she has the most chaotic, slapstick sense of humor, and I love this kid. And because I'm there with her, her mom can pursue her PhD. This is why it's important that we stand up and fight back when they try to strip programs like this from our country, from our women. Because it's Medicaid that allows women to serve in their churches and pursue the medical research that's gonna save lives in the future and everything in between. Okay? I feel like it should be obvious, but I am going to say it again, and I'm going to read it from my paper to make sure you hear me. Americans do not want to steal from women and children to give tax breaks to giant corporations and billionaires like Musk. None of us want that.
No.
I need you to get loud and stay loud. I need you to call out Senator Lee. I need you to call out Senator Curtis and all of your legislators and hold them accountable for their actions. Listen, for myself, and I have talked to my patients' families about this, and so this is a genuine offer. I would like to offer any of our legislators the chance to come and hang out with me for the day.
Yes! Do it!
Come to my house.
Yes.
Come to my school.
Yes.
Come to my other patient's house.
Yes.
Everyone's on board. Come and see what it looks like when we truly empower women to make the choices for themselves and for their families that they want to make.
Yes!
Come and see what it looks like when women have access to the resources that they need to thrive.
Yes!
Right? Come and see it. Come and meet Ethan. Come and meet my patients. All right, Ethan says no because he's tough. But here's the thing. Come and see what I know is true. Medicaid is pro-child. Medicaid is pro-family. Medicaid is pro-woman. Medicaid is pro-America, and the party in charge is not.
Yes!